Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. The big news story tonight, one of the worst mass shootings in the nation's history, reportedly, and it's in Lewiston, Maine at multiple locations. They're saying the shooter is in his 40s and at large. We'll get to the significance of his April 4th birthday and how that ties in with this being the latest reported mass shooting on a Wednesday. But again, if you're new here, I have a book on what we're about to discuss. Not specifically tonight's shooting, but just the shootings that make the nightly news, that get the politicians to follow, calling for gun control and whatnot, and how systematically there are numbers encoded in these stories, and you can see something is going on that's more than what you're being told. And the truth is somewhere between the entire stories being manufactured, and with that being one possibility, the other end is, like you've seen in the movies, there's these MK Ultra Manchurian candidate, trained former military, essentially mind controllable assassins. And like we've brought up so many times, the show Utopia, which came out in the UK in 2013 and which Amazon remade in 2020, it shows how governments and powerful people who control media, are literally raising children to become mass shooters. Again, really sick show, Utopia. And the fact that Amazon remade it and released it in 2020 after the lockdowns, when the main premise of that show is billionaires use the media they control to fake a pandemic so that they can mass vaccinate everybody to sterilize humanity. Again, that's what the show's about, but it has some other elements, such as these raised mass shooters. And again, Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. The shooter tonight, his name is Robert Card, supposedly at large. His name in Gematria equals 67. Today, October 25th, is the day leaving 67 days left in the year. And if you count the span of days from today to the governor's upcoming birthday, who spoke on this, it's a span of 67 days as well. You could also say it's 66 days to her upcoming birthday if you don't count the span. Mass shooting is 66, whereas Robert Card is 67, like blood sacrifice, like human sacrifice, like killer. Again, 67, fateful number, one we talk about all the time. If you're new here, Gematria is very simple. It's taking the alphabetic order and replacing the letters with numbers based on the order. It's the alphabetic order forwards, it's the alphabetic order in reverse, and it's the two orders with numerology. So there are 4 base ciphers. The word Wednesday has gematria of 37 and 44, forwards and backwards. Shooting also has the gematria of 37 and 44. And 44 is a number that is in nearly every single mass shooting you've ever seen in the news. They always figure out a way to encode it. So many mass shootings are on Wednesdays. But in this case, they also have to tell you that Robert Card has an April 4th birthday. 4-4. Again, shooting equals 44, gunfire equals 44, mass shooter equals 44. They're saying he's military trained, military equals 44, soldier 44, trooper 44, infantry 44, officer 44. It's a fateful number, 44. Again, the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. came on April 4th, and then the first major gun control for the nation came at the end of the year MLK was assassinated. And don't forget that MLK gave his speech Beyond Vietnam, A Time to Break Silence, a year to the day of his death, April 4th in 67. A lot of people said he shouldn't give that speech speaking against the U.S. military. If you've never heard it, you should take a listen, regardless of what you think about MLK. I think if you listen to his April 4th, 67 speech, you'll see there's a lot of truth to it. So Wednesday, the shooting day, Robert Card, the latest shooter, whose name perfectly corresponds with the date, as we so often document, and once again synced with the governor, The governor's 75 years old right now. Lewiston, Maine has that Gematria 75, as does the motto, order out of chaos. And the two locations they keep talking about where the victims were, Shmenji's Bar and Grill, Gematria of 107, also like shooting. Again, if you're new here, let's observe the 4-base ciphers. Again, Wednesdays and Saturdays, the most common days for mass shootings. Dates that have 44 numerology, also common days for mass shootings. But shooting has the 107, like the name of the bar and grill. Name of the bar and grill, 107 as well. Shooting 44 and 37, like we talked about, just like Wednesday has the 44 and 37. And then the one other shooting value we didn't cover, the 107, 109. Again, this man's former military. You see how military's 107 and 109 and 44 like shooting. The day of the week that has the 107, 109 is Saturday. Again, historically, Wednesdays and Saturdays have more mass shootings than other days of the week. But they can fall on other days. They often fall on 44 date numerology, like I just said. And the other time, or the other location, was Spare Time Recreation. And the 119 in that stands out in a big way because Fraternal Order of Police is 119. And if you're not familiar with the Fraternal Order of Police's logo, you should look it up. It has the Masonic handshake as the Masonic symbol, the all-seeing eye, which is another 119. And, you know, that's the thing about the media, right? Everybody who's looked at their screen tonight, whether they looked at their TV screen or their phone screen or whatever other computer screen, I mean, pretty much everyone knows that a shooting happened in Maine tonight. Just like that, boom, you can make a nation of 300 and some million people, you know, you can give them something to focus on. And through the media, they control the mind's eye of the masses. I really think that's what it is with the all-seeing eye. They want to control the mind's eye of the masses. But anyway, these numbers we talk about over and over in these mass shootings, and so often, you know, the shooter will be specific to the date. Today's date numerology is 42, Maine, in the most simple ciphers, 42, as is gun, as is ammo. They're all 42. And again, 42 date numerology, Maine is the target. Maine is the 23rd state in order of statehood. Big mass shooting for 2023. And again, this is going to go down as one of the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history. Funny enough, the state's birthday for Maine is the Ides of March, the 74th day of the year, the day to remember the killing of Caesar. And yeah, those are the main points. So we'll see what other details emerge. But again, I wish we could get some real investigative journalism and get to the bottom of if our government runs a program something like what they show in that show Utopia. Would that be something to find out? That they've always been raising a stable of mass shooters and people that they can use in their propaganda to scare Americans out of their rights and liberties? Because that's what all these stories are. See? See how scary it is? See, there's another psychopath out of there. This guy just got out of the mental ward. That's why I just heard him say on the news that he'd recently been in the mental ward. And now he's out on the street with a gun, killing people by the dozens. And they started with 16 dead on the CNN headline. It's jumped up to 22 dead. We'll see where the numbers go to. That's par for the course in these stories. The numbers bouncing around. Yeah, again, if you guys have not read my books, they're out there. Letters and Numbers. That's my first book. Book's nearly 800 pages long. The one of the longer chapters in that book is about mass shootings by the numbers, and the biggest point made is about how they have to encode 44 over and over. Notice, alphabetic order and numerology, shootings 44, again, gunfires 44, mass shooters 44, military in that cipher is 44, execution In 2 days, which will be Friday, we'll have a date with 44 numerology. Sometimes they really like will plaster us with a whole bunch of mass shootings in a row at once. See if it's that kind of stretch going into Halloween. But yeah, I mean, consistently just showing the same perfect rituals, same patterns. The coincidence theorist should say, you know what? This has been a coincidence too many times. Can't just keep being a coincidence. Robert Card, 67 on the day, leaving 67 days left in the year. So, shout out to John Mendoza again. You didn't have to do that, John, but I appreciate it. We'll leave it there for now. I just know a lot of people are going to ask about the shooting who wouldn't watch the TFR episode where we broke it down in real time. So just want to put a separate video out there real quick. And I will finish my book soon. So yeah, you guys will have a new book here before long. Till next time, Truth Seeker.